Greetings and hello. I'm so excited. My name is Joelle and I'm the Viberarian. I am here to elevate, enlighten, and empower. And one of the ways that I do that is by using oracle cards. I love oracle and tarot decks. I think they're a beautiful way to have conversations with spirit and with guidance. And every week I'm here on this beautiful space having conversations about cards and with people who also feel the same way I do. Thank you to my moderator and the people who are here from the Good Vibe Tribe. And those of you who join us from week to week, I appreciate your energy and your support. I'm very excited this evening because my guest is a person who I met many years ago. If you can look here in my little tableau, I wanted to start out in this frame so you could kind of get a sense of what we're talking about here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 decks here. Here lined up in the background, you can get a scene of the boxes, and these are decks by All Things Intuitive. And so I am very excited to be joined this evening by Chris. Chris is the founder of All Things Intuitive and is local here in the Atlanta metro area where I live. And Chris, welcome to In the Cards.
Thank you for having me. It's good to see you.
Oh, it is very good to see you. Now, we actually met each other at a psychic fair up in North Atlanta that's been going on for like 30 years, the Big Blue Barn. We have to always mention Gloria and all the wonderful people who come together there. We would not have met each other had it not been for intersecting in that space. And so I have to say, let me get my adjustments here now. The technology is great, but
your card display looks better than mine.
Oh my goodness. Well, your cards is how they use, not how they look on the shelf. So let me just say, but you know, when we first met, you were doing Reiki and readings up at the Blue Barn, and your very first deck, the Messages of Love Oracle deck.
Yeah,
this will take you back.
That's the original look.
Right. I mean, how many iterations ago has it been since how many revisions of this particular deck?
A lot. Every time I do another printing for, whatever platform it's on, I have to, check the proofs. So I haven't done any big changes to that, but there may be something coming because it's going to be 5 years pretty soon.
Well, it's kind of an iconic look because I realized when I think I sent you a message with some mugs, and I was like, are these yours? Because it was your design, it was words, it was this, and I didn't know if at that point, if it was you putting it out on mugs or if it had been snagged, because it's an iconic look, so you can't change. I'm saying this is the Messages of Love. Look, I see it all over YouTube. Right? But you did have some piracy, and you're constantly actually battling piracy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got into that a lot yesterday. So
yes,
absolutely. I don't need to go off on a tangent about it. So
well, it is important. And one thing that, I appreciate, you talked about your card stock and the decisions and the things that you go into with the weight. I mean, it's very intricate and detailed business that you put a lot of thought into. And so I wanted to show, I think my favorite, the blank slate deck and the tuck box on the blank slate deck. I think these are my favorite, really? Just, like tactile experience. And it's a really pretty deck. The box feels great.
So, thank you.
I'm finicky. I notice things like, and I know that you have made things for thousands of people, and everybody has preferences. So I'm sure that, as you mentioned yesterday, it's been hard to, you can't please everybody.
Yeah, definitely. And that one's not a big seller, but
really?
That's okay too, because not everything is going to be. I mean, it's out on Amazon, but I think a lot of people are just that deck is really specific to difficult times. It's also a good deck just to pull a card a day, kind of like the Believe and Achieve I have. That's out of print right now, but
Yeah.
those are just I am affirmations. But I really like Blank Slate because it just kind of helps you focus on what's important. And if you're struggling with something, it'll give you some ideas about what you can do to
Absolutely. It
get
is
yourself
it is
moving.
very good. It is. And
Thank
I've
you.
used it with my clients when I go up and do my weekend readings, but for myself as well.
Yeah, I
I
use it
just
every day.
oh, every day.
I
Wow.
Yeah, I read my own cards every day. I just do. Not,
Yeah.
you know, I I use other people's cards a lot, but that is one deck of my own that I'll use every day to just kind of, you know, with anything that I need help with, just try to pull a message out of there and see, you know,
Well,
see
how
what
about if we
comes up.
both pull one then as
All
we
right.
get started here? That's a great
Okay.
idea. And
Of course, I
hello,
don't have that one down here.
well,
That's
hello,
okay. You
hello,
got it.
Stacy, and thank you to the Good Vibe Tribe. We got some people
I got
commenting in
everything else down
chat.
here, but I don't have that one.
Now I'll tell you, Stacy is in the chat, and she's
Okay.
definitely also on the crew of people who love your sage
Oh,
spray.
thank you.
Okay,
Thank
so
you so much. I appreciate it.
well, that is a staple, and it just lifts the energy so immediately. So,
Thank you.
all
I'll do
right,
my best
let's see what we have from the Blank Slate messages for us this evening. All right, let's see. All right, what does it say? Oh, talk with a financial advisor.
Yeah, that's pretty spot on. It's tax season right now.
Right. Okay.
So
And what's on
yeah.
the and the bottom is eat nutritious food.
Oh, well,
That is
okay.
perfect because I've
It's
been
kind of
trying.
funny. I just made a chicken pot pie, so I think I'm in pretty good shape there.
Yeah. And I just
Only
had a
get the
big
top crust, not
salad.
the bottom. So yeah, I
That's
know sometimes you'll pull a message that's kind of, it just may seem a little weird or off. One of them was, I pulled something that said, take a hot bath or a shower, but it can just mean maybe you need a salt bath. Maybe you need to take a look at, the energy that is on you. And, it can be a little deeper than it actually appears. But yeah,
yeah.
that's something I've been trying to do is do a lot more cooking and making things from scratch. And it's always good when my family eats it as well.
Oh, well, when they
But yeah,
decide to
that's so
be.
spot on. I'm talking to my CPA a lot lately. So yeah,
Well, I just opened a
same.
Schwab account yesterday and I had some questions.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
and it is tax season. So
Yes,
wow,
it
this
is.
again,
Yes, it
I
is.
love this deck.
Thank
Like it
you.
doesn't matter the context, it truly is blank slate, right? It puts
Yes.
something to your awareness that wasn't there before if you're
Yeah.
open to
And
it.
that is the deck that I dedicated to my friend who, when she came out as trans, and she was really going through a tough time, and we've been friends since we were kids, and that, it was just a natural progression to give her that dedication. And of course she cried and I
Well,
cried.
yeah.
but, but I wanted to make it really pretty for her.
Oh,
And,
yes. Oh, it is. It
thank you.
is so beautiful. I'm telling you, I could just.
I had a little help with the design on that one. The person who designed that was actually at my manufacturer, and I told them what I wanted, but they worked with the colors and the design. And,
Oh,
you know,
yes.
it's they did a good job putting my vision into the cards.
Chloe.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this, I think it is probably one of my, like
Thank you.
overall, I love it. So it gives me a little happy vibe. The colors, when I opened, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I love it myself. It's one of my favorite of my own decks.
Well, that's awesome. Now, I mean, we've got Stacy. Anyone in the chat, if you would like a card, please chime in. Let us know. We'll draw. Now, it's funny because the latest deck I received from you is your Between the Lines clarifying cards.
Yes.
And as I was opening them to pull them out,
yeah, mine was flying around before this. What'd you get? Libra.
Libra.
That would be you.
Right? And then it says,
Yep. You're a born leader.
I'm born leader.
Nice.
And then on the other side was Aries, which is interesting because
yeah, I'm an Aries moon.
Okay, yes. Oh,
definitely.
Stacy says here, let me put this on the screen. Just listen to a podcast about finances, and I'm sure she meant neurodivergence, led by a financial coach with ADHD. Oh, that's cool. To be able to go to a tailored presentation for that, that's very awesome.
There's a lot of Oracle decks that are coming out dealing with finances and career.
Are there?
And Blank Slate gets into it a little bit, but not exclusively.
All right. Well, let's go ahead. And Stacy says she does want a blank slate card. So let me see here. Stacy, give me a number 1, 2, or 3. Give her time for the feedback to get 3. Okay. Well, last shuffle. Here we go. All right. Yours are, volunteer. And, join a group.
Double whammy there.
Well, hello. Okay. I love it. See, the font is nice. The selection, the design is lovely. The colors, like I said, these are a great little deck.
Thank you.
All right. That's beautiful. So let me, she said, well.
Yeah. I had some similar messages myself recently. Just join a group, get more involved. And sometimes that's just what you need to kind of help you, if you're stuck in a rut, or even if you're not, just to kind of get out and do something a little bit different.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, contributing something positive just for the sake of that is a beautiful thing. It's freeing, for one, and it's connective, as you said. Now, it's interesting because join a group, I am having a mixer on Saturday for my business association, the Viberary Collective. So it is meant to bring people together who, like yourself, have your business, I have my business, and we look for ways that we can at least inform each other about what we're doing and then support in whatever way possible those other business initiatives. So, I'm very excited because it's not a revenue generating group, it's a group of just common interests and vibration
ideas. And
so this is, being beautiful support.
And, join a group can be something online. Even I have a group that I chat with every day, and that's my group. I don't even have to leave to be in it. So,
yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. All right. Well, that's great energy and great. Blank Slate is coming in perfectly today. Wonderful for it.
Hope you like that, Stacy.
Let's see. So would we be able to use Between the Lines with the guidance we got from the Blank Slate?
Sure. I have it. It's a whole lot of deck. I know.
It is a whole lot of deck. Like, let me show people what we're talking about here.
I like to kind of hold it all at once and just, hold it, pretty hard in my hands, and then just kind of shuffle it that way. But, there's a lot of different ways you can use it. You can split it up under, you can split it up using the timelines that are in there. You can split it up by zodiac sign, or you can just hold it all together and see what comes out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely been like, oh, good match.
It can be slippery.
Well, I mean, but I like that though to a degree. The shuffle technique is always interesting, but the fact that there's not the color marking helps you keep the orientation on these, because the gradient lets you know, because one end is purpley and one end is blue. So I like that for if reorganizing it is necessary for me. But I really feel like almost these could go into a little pouchlet, when I'm with my clients and let them draw, for their own, because you also have more than one of some messages, I think, because I've pulled the same thing and it's been on the table.
It shouldn't be, but
oh, okay. I'd have to run through it because it was a duplicate.
Well, if it was a duplicate, yeah, that may be possible. It might have been a prototype that I sent you.
Oh, well, I mean, I was just thinking it was good because sometimes, when you're wanting to clarify, you don't want to like have exhausted like the same common message, so I thought that was part of the benefit of the deck.
Is it the same? Was it the same exact message, or
it is the same exact word? Okay. I can't remember what it is, but now I'll be going on a scavenger hunt for it. For sure, because I thought it was purposeful to make the deck kind of double emphasis, or to continue the clarification, because sometimes it's a repeat, and I was doing a balanced read comparing two things. So it actually was very helpful to have gotten the same word on both.
We always know that the cards are going to come out the way they're supposed to. So that helps, definitely.
Yes. All right. So the first one was consult a financial advisor.
Okay.
So what do we have between the lines on that?
Okay. Stressed. So yeah, this is, just collectively, if you're concerned about money, finances, take action, talk to somebody, maybe join a group, maybe even a group of people who are in the financial area who can help with getting things organized, and that will definitely relieve the stress. And I'll see what else comes up. Everything is just jumping out. Yeah. And if you're not confident about doing it yourself, then other people can help. I mean, this is what CPAs and financial planners get paid to do. Let them do their thing. And you don't have to completely understand how everything works. They will help you along the way. And there's a lot of different, I'm seeing some women's groups. I think it's called Dow Janes. I have no connection with them at all, but I just thought it was funny. And it was a group that really caters to women and helping them understand finances. So I will pull one more.
That's great.
See what happens. Self-care. Yeah. And you can use reversals with these. I really, if I feel it, I take it as a reversal. If I don't, then I don't. But a lot of people, you can do that with any of my cards if you're feeling that works for you. It just depends on, our own preferences as readers. But take care of yourself. Don't be too stressed out that you're not confident about everything that needs to be done here. There are people out there, if I can get all these in front of the screen here, there are people out there who can help with this.
Absolutely.
That's what they do. And definitely the stress part is something that anybody who's worried about money is going to be feeling. You're definitely not alone.
Yes.
That message is for.
Yes. I mean, that was even the nutritional part, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was like very also appropriate of, self-care Like
Definitely.
overall
Because
theme.
if you're all stressed out and you're eating a bunch of junk food, that's
Mm-hmm.
just gonna make you feel worse. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just kind of an overall look at taking care of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and the pressure will definitely ease. I think some of that's for me.
Yeah, I
It's
know
pretty
it's for
stressful.
me. I
Tax
know
season is not fun.
yeah. Well, it's your root chakra when it comes down to it. Like if you're feeling stress about to consult a financial advisor means you need some edification of your feeling towards
Yes.
your root chakra. So
Mhm.
that's a good acknowledgement to
Yes.
say.
And I have a really good one who, just sometimes I can just ask him questions like, "What? Hey, how do you think I'm doing?" Because I wasn't born to do this. It just kind of happened, and
Mm-hmm,
I had
mm-hmm,
to learn a lot along the way. But it's always nice to have a relationship with somebody who is going to guide you and coach you
mm-hmm.
along the way. And that my financial planner he helps with that a lot.
See, that's
No
wonderful.
name dropping here.
Yeah, but I mean that's real world how oracle
Yes.
cards speak to and provide guidance for our
Yeah,
everyday experience. It's
absolutely.
right in alignment.
Yeah, and I pulled the take a hot shower or a bath, and I had already taken a hot shower, so
Right.
I didn't need it. But what I took from that is that my energy needed to be cleared. So
Hmm.
however it resonates with you, however the message comes through, you know what it means. And that's what these cards are all about. They're going to mean different things to different people.
Hmm.
And they're not
Yes.
always as simple as the few words on the front of the deck.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and really one of the challenging decks that you made was the messages of closure
Yes, I do
card.
have that one right here.
So, first of all, paint blue is something that we know about in the South. I don't know if
Mhm.
many people know about that. The blue
I
door.
don't even know about it.
Oh,
I
okay.
just I love blue. That is my favorite color, and I just I just decided that, I wanted it to be a door to open to the messages that people can't get because the people that they want to talk to are either passed over or they've left, and they're not going to have a chance to open that door. So you've got the front door, and then on the inside is
Right.
really
Yes.
the open door. But I just love that color. So
Well,
that's how it
so
got.
well, Haint Blue or HAINT is a Southern thing that arose out of basically you paint the door blue, and the theory or teaching is that the spirits would pass by because they would think that it was the sky. So it
Hmm,
was like a spiritual practice.
wow.
I definitely know, like in the South and like the hoodoo and, like rural type of culture. And I think in Haiti and different places. So the painting of the door blue
Wow.
is, it is a thing. So, I'll have to look it up here.
Wow.
And,
It's a coincidence, but I
hey,
wish I could
everything
say
is
that it was intended, but sometimes spirit will lead you to the right artwork, even if you don't know all the details behind it. So,
yes. I mean, it's perfect. It's aligned. When I first
yeah,
saw it, I was
I'm big on my blues. I'm big on my pinks. I like
like, oh.
colors.
Well, this deck, is very, again, people who are in a painful place or feeling the loss. This deck is helpful to have conversations, and it's not like a fuzzy, deck. It's just real energies. And this deck, you basically like channeled in
Yeah.
all of these messages.
Well, I wrote that deck because I had a difficult relationship with my mother,
Mhm.
and it helps me to communicate with her.
Mhm.
And I put the coffee card in there. It's my mom. What's my mom saying? Oh, she wishes me love and happiness.
Yeah, it slid right on it.
She's like, I'm not difficult.
She
Not
slid it
anymore.
right on. It slid right on.
But yeah, that deck was really for her, and it was maybe 45 minutes. I wrote the whole deck in 45 minutes, and it just came in. But yes, that for me is a very intense deck, and my mom's last words are in that deck. I'm not going to say what they are, but they're in there. And,
Mhm.
there are a lot of things I think people can relate to. So there's some really heavy duty personal stuff in there, as well as some messages that are very hopeful for people,
Yes, yes. I have
because they need that. If you don't get any closure with a person who's gone, and you can
mhm,
use these for love readings too. What needs to come out is going to come out.
mhm.
And it just, if you're not going to be able to get that closure, at least you can get it through a deck. And mine isn't the only one. There are plenty of other decks like that, but these are just some quick messages, and the feedback that I get on this deck is just amazing.
Yeah. Well, would you pull
Yeah.
a card for me from my ancestors?
Okay. Anybody in particular?
Well, I'm just looking at all my grandparents here
Okay.
in my my space, but
So, well,
so
I'll,
there.
I'll pull some and just see what comes out, and we'll see.
Let's see.
Is it somebody with an L? Is there an L in someone's name?
Well, so
I
in
don't know.
a,
I just heard a L.
well, being adopted, so
Yeah.
sometimes I can't answer certain
Okay.
questions about the presences unless they're in my known adopted family.
Okay.
Oh, yes. I got that same card today. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
When I
Well,
pulled the card
it's
out,
okay to be happy.
it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't even realize when it came out that I might have been feeling some kind of guilt of, or you know what I mean? It was a
Oh,
prompt.
absolutely.
Now it's a double prompt for me to sit to
Yeah.
see, like, oh my goodness, is there some way where I'm pulling myself in because I feel like it would be wrong to be.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Oh,
great. It's a great
yeah.
prompt.
Yeah, and we know, several mediums, and we know that on the other side, they don't want us to be miserable. I mean,
Yeah,
it's impossible being over here and them on the other side for us to understand what it's like. But if they loved you and cared about you in this life, they're not going to want you to be miserable for the rest of your life. So
yeah,
that's definitely a good message that I
yeah.
think,
I didn't even realize, but I mean,
yeah,
now I've got to sit with that. Like, huh? Okay,
you
yeah.
feeling like another one?
Oh yeah,
All right.
absolutely,
All right.
absolutely.
This one
Yeah,
just flew.
I love it. Was it?
This is the stuff that when I'm doing readings, sometimes live, I just laugh my head off. Look what happened. Happiness.
Oh,
And I was just
trip,
shuffling these up.
triple.
Okay.
What?
Wait, let me see if I can get it on the
Oh
screen.
my gosh. Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to go in
Yeah.
with that.
Definitely
I
dig
wish you
into that.
love and
Yeah.
happiness is not a
Yeah.
betrayal
You
with
got a
me.
double happiness, and it's okay to feel how you feel. It's okay to be good. It's okay to feel good.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. One more
Wow.
message. Let's see who
It
pops
comes
up.
out a fourth time, Chris.
And with my decks, sometimes I have like multiple cards extras and stuff. So that could be what happened with yours. I have so many decks and so many copies of them that sometimes things will come together, and it'll be an extra card or two in there
But
from
I think
another deck.
everything is as it should be. There's no mistakes or
Okay.
random.
I didn't know how to comfort you.
Mm,
Does that resonate?
yep.
Okay. Well, I'm glad it does.
Mm,
No tears. I've I I've done some readings just with friends, and people have cried getting these messages, but they really needed to hear them, and I get it. I wrote it, and I need to hear it too sometimes, because you know it was not easy, and
Yeah.
sometimes you just need to know that they're doing okay, and they're happy for you, and they're supportive, and I'm just glad it works. It works. I'm glad that it resonates for people.
Yes. And I did not realize until my biological mother started coming forward in spirit,
Mm.
having not knowing anything about with the closed adoption. So it wasn't until in the last maybe 10 years that I
Mm.
learned that she was likely deceased based on the messages that I was
Yeah.
getting. So since that time, I now know how to see her. Like she shows me her energy all the time. And it is very
Awesome.
comforting then for it to show up. But when I think back to the earlier years of prior to that awareness of it, and that's a very good, deep an acknowledgement of
Yeah.
that period of pain,
Yeah,
so
that's a very difficult thing to go through. And I have a friend who, her mom and dad passed on, and she was adopted, and she did, 23andMe, and ended up with a whole family pretty much in the same area. And she's getting to know brothers and sisters, and a little bit more about her birth parents. They're both
Mhm.
passed on, but it's a tough thing to go through, and absolutely this deck can help with adoptions, all kinds of things.
Yes. Well, for anyone who's in the chat that might like a card from passed on loved ones, chime in and let us know. And while we're getting ready for that, Chris, I'm going to turn the camera just on you, and I'm going to look for that hate blue real quick.
Okay.
And if you want to share anything else, let me switch you over to primary. There we go. Let's see if I have it. Hold on. Oh, here we go. There we are. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna look for this little thing here, but your cards that are no longer in print, could you show that not no longer in print, but they're out of stock right now? Do you have those handy? Can you show them?
I've got Believe and Achieve. I don't have it down here. I just brought the decks that people would be able to purchase. But Believe and Achieve is I am affirmations. I post them a lot on Instagram, and it just wasn't a big seller. And as a business owner, you just have to make those tough decisions. If people are not going to buy the deck, then you don't spend the money to print the deck. But what I do
Right,
sometimes is, and I just did this with Blank Slate, is I just ran a small batch, and whoever wants that deck will be able to get it on Amazon. And it's something that will probably move slowly, but there are people who are interested in that. And I'll probably do another run of Believe and Achieve, but it's I am affirmations, and I use them on the channel to just kind of start out the week. Sometimes I'll
mm-hmm.
just say, take what you need, take one, take more. And some of those get more views and likes than anything else. It's funny
Yes,
because people really like the messages, but they didn't necessarily,
want to.
want to buy the deck. So
Yeah,
it's
I
all
like
good.
them too. I like them
Yeah.
too.
I
Like you
mean,
said,
not everything is going to be a bestseller. It's just not. And that's, part of being an oracle card creator, part of being, you know, anybody who's in a creative business. You have to kind of, keep working at it and see what sticks.
yeah,
Not
I
everything.
mean, and the timing as well, like we're in this
Mhm.
expansion. So like one of your decks, the hidden truth, and you had the hidden truth too, right? Because there
Yeah,
were shifts and
I've got
changes that it
yeah.
responded to.
I
Yeah.
can't seem to keep them on camera, but yeah, this
Yeah.
is this is V2, and of course this is the hidden truth.
Yes. Yes.
I'm driving off the road here.
No, it's perfect. Yes. So the messages grow and change, right? Like we're in a
Yes.
very present time when people are seeking conversations at a certain space. There was a lot of love energy. Like people were really in this wave of seeking those messages of love hit boom, like at the right time
Mhm.
when people were seeking answers.
Yeah, and
So,
during the pandemic is when these decks really just, I couldn't keep them in stock on
mhm,
Amazon. And I think it's just because people were not able to, see people, soul connection type relationships
mhm,
might have been people who were separated, not seeing each other, and they wanted to know what was going on with their person, and I
mhm.
think that was one way that they were able to get some answers that they needed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We do. Stacy said, would you mind pulling a messages of closure from her dad who transitioned last summer?
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Is there an M in his name? And
Let's see if she says
see if
anything.
I'm on or not. Some days I'm on. I don't
We'll see if she comments here. There's a bit of a time delay, so
I hear things like Mervin or something like that. I don't know. Sometimes I just hear names and sometimes they mean something, sometimes they don't. All right. All right. Well, your dad says that he lived his life through you, so he was really proud of you
oh
and lived
yes, the last name was Mullen. I'm like, what is
Mullen.
it? What
Okay.
is it? Mullen.
Sometimes it's right in front of my face and I still can't see it.
Yeah, and it's me too. I'm like, duh, it's
Close.
Mullen.
When I was working the psychic fair, because you were there too, but the hits that I would get would just kind of blow my mind.
Get
Like,
chocolate chip cookies. You're
yeah,
like,
I
why
mean,
am I tasting
yeah,
chocolate?
you're like all connected and your energy is just off the charts and your ability. I would get names. I would hear clairaudiently names of people who, and both of us were like, oh,
I
when
know.
I was waiting for a client. So yes, your dad lived his life through you. Let's get a few more messages and see what comes through. And I know it's really tough when you've recently lost somebody. And let's see what's going on with dad. What he wants to say. Okay. Well, he's regretting some time that you lost. Um, what I'm getting
Mm.
is maybe he was sick. Maybe there was a gap in your relationship at some point. Maybe he was away working, he was away in some way, and he regrets that now. Let me get a few more. Yeah, and it's okay if he seems far away now. If you're not feeling him as strongly as you did right after he passed, that's okay. It's not it's like the happiness is not a betrayal of me. It's okay to not feel like you're connected or thinking about him every single day because there is no time on the other side is what I know from from people I've talked to on the other side. All right, one more for that. Oh, this just popped out, so we'll see what it says. Oh, this is sweet. I see all that you do for others.
Oh.
And it's just a proud dad. That's what it is. He's a proud dad, and it's okay if he seems far away. He's watching you, and he's regretful, and just would like to apologize for any time that maybe you weren't able to make the most of together. But I'm getting really strongly he bragged on you about your talents, and told a lot of other people, and maybe you didn't even know this, but he did, and was very proud of the person you are. So I hope that helps, and I hope it resonates.
Oh, that's so
I get that blue
beautiful.
on the other side.
Yeah, I'm like showing the
This is
deck.
the reason I didn't know about it. I love it. I
I
mean,
do
I saw
too.
that and I was like, that's it.
I'm going to go ahead and show this screen while you clear. We have Amy B says, I
Okay.
feel like we was serendipitously led here. I'm open to any messages from the other side. So let me pull up this little screen here and see if I can do it.
Okay.
Oh.
You going to do this one, Joelle?
Oh no, I'll have you continue.
Okay.
This is it's beautiful. It's about, the indigo trade. I'll put this in the notes, but it's about the indigo blue coming in the Gullah Geechee folks in coastal Carolina. And you'll see it down along coastal houses, blue shutters, blue doors.
Love that. That
and it's
reminds me
meant
of
to be
Key
like
West.
the sky.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, and in the sky to reflect away, to protect it from evil spirits. And it was a bug repellent too, so they put stuff in it so you could see it as you travel around. So anyway, that is what it if anyone wants to go on down that rabbit hole, Haint Blue is a thing,
Yeah,
So
now I want to go down it because it's fascinating. Now, Amy, is there a particular person that you want a message from, or do you just want to see what comes through? I know there's a little bit of a delay here.
Stacy said, "Thank you so very much. It all resonates." I was about to.
Tough thing to go through, and I know.
Mm-hmm. She said she's just open.
All right, let's see what comes through for you, Amy. Okay, had a couple of cards that came out, and one person is saying, I know it isn't fair. Maybe this person passed on unexpectedly, and you're not happy about it because it wasn't supposed to be this way. But this person wants you to know that I'm sorry, I'm getting my cards here, that they're with you all the time. And that's one thing that may sound like a cliche, but they are with you all the time. All of our ancestors are always around us. And if we could see where they are, if we were able to see all the spirits that surround us every day, people's minds would just be blown. And I'm not a medium, but I do know a lot of mediums, and I've done a lot of automatic writing and things like that have come through. You've got armies with you. I'm going to pull a few more and just see. Let's get a little more clarification on the fairness. This one just jumped out. Oh, I love you. So whoever this person is, I'm getting male, maybe a father figure or a male, passed on male. It might even be a grandfather. I'm just getting a strong male energy, possibly with maybe dark curly hair. That's what I'm getting, if that resonates. But definitely dark. Okay, couple. Yes, I heard you. So if you said something to this person when they were in a state of where they appeared unconscious, they heard the message and they couldn't communicate back, but they heard you. So that it's always a good idea if somebody is in that kind of state to say what you need to say, because they may not be able to reply, but they do hear you.
Yes, that you hear that over and over again. That's when the loved one comes to say, I know what special thing you did for me. Like
Yes.
if it's like if you took care and made sure that there was something special to them in the casket with them, or if you kept the memento, that there's always some kind of personal and very private affirmation to say that I saw the love,
Yes.
that you think that you're feeling guilty
Hmm.
because you think that I don't know that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's always that relief of that
Yeah,
awareness.
and that's something that has been really nice, is to hear that it has taken the burden off people when they are just feeling awful about things that happened, or we were in a fight before this person passed on. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They know that you're sorry. They hear you, they can see you, they're here all the time with
Mm-hmm.
you.
Mm-hmm.
And these are just things that we worry about, that really, when you're dealing with the other side, they wish they could tell you. And sometimes they will try to tell you by blinking lights and moving things, and you know, which
Yeah.
is every day around my house.
Right.
I've got
Right.
several people on the other side, and I don't know who's who some days, but
For the flicker show.
yes,
And
definitely.
Amy, I am going to pull a blank slate for you as we thank you, Chris. Those are
You're welcome.
beautiful messages. I definitely I don't take that deck with me except as guided when I go work at the shop. You know, like
Mhm,
I'll know when I'm gonna probably be receiving, you know, clients with mediumship needs, because I don't
mhm,
do mediumship reads
mhm,
directly
mhm.
except as, you know, to be a facilitator of these kinds of things. And
Right.
you know, I hear my own ancestors, but like when you get into direct conduity between other people's ancestors, I've
Mhm,
decided at this point I'm not in that, you
mhm.
know, that business, if you will,
Yes,
which is okay. So it's heavy, you know. This
it
is
is
pain
heavy,
points and relationships. You know,
definitely.
you never know what you're stepping into. So
Mhm.
okay, well, thank you. So everyone here can resonate with the energy of, you know, dealing with grief and trying to uh, find closure from that. So, all right, blank slate for Amy. We have learn from your mistakes, and on the bottom, create a budget and cut back on expenses.
Lots of financial stuff coming through.
There is lots of financial stuff
Yeah.
this evening, and I take heed.
I think we all do.
Yes, yes. All right, that's our blank slate.
I think
Okay.
I think that's when you talk about my energy being on those cards, I think
Oh,
it's definitely because that's, like, front and center for me right now, dealing with,
oh, me too, me too.
getting
Like,
my Amazon tax forms and getting my eBay forms, and, my stuff from Etsy. It's all coming in, all have to be taken care of.
oh my goodness, this card just stuck and came out. Write a closure letter, keep it,
Mm,
mail it, or burn it.
yeah.
All right. I received that too. Learn from your mistakes. All right. Write a closure letter.
Yeah,
I love
you
it, Chris.
don't always have to send it, because it could be a situation where it's not okay to send it, because this person may be with somebody else now, and you got to think about how that might impact the other person, and it's okay to just take it and, you know, let it go.
Yes.
Let it go, burn it, write it out, burn it, have a ceremony, and just, know that you have spoken your truth, and it's not necessarily something that someone else needs to hear or would be in the best interest of that person hearing.
No, and that's the thing about the closure, right? Is like
Mhm.
this deck is also good. Like if you're having with a living person, like you said, but you can't resolve.
Right.
but you're trying to reach a peace point about it. You can write out your ho'oponoponos. You can use the closure cards, to resolve things up, to let it go, like you said, and burning the letter of releasing as part of that closure exercise.
Yeah,
I think
it's
that would
really
be
freeing. I've done that. I've done both. I've mailed one, and I've written it and burned it. But it really depends on the situation, and whether it's something that if it's not going to hurt someone else or hurt people that are connected to that person.
right. Right. Well, I'm telling you, Chris, I would let me before we step away, because so the hidden truth 1 and 2 are pretty standalone line, but the other deck, that's the challenge.
Yeah.
And I've been
I
struggling
I
with it.
get a lot of I love it or I hate it. It's actually, shadows can be good and they can be bad. They can be things that you don't know, and they're not. I mean, I fantasize about you. That's in there. And
Right.
I pretend you don't matter. That's not a bad thing, but it's not necessarily something that a person would say to somebody else. So it is shadowy, and you can use this on yourself, even
Yes.
higher self messages.
Absolutely. I'm going to pull a shadow card for us, because it's not all, like we said, it's if we're talking about finances and releasing
Mhm.
fears, consulting a financial advisor, forgiving ourselves from our
Yeah,
mistakes.
and
Like
and
this
there
is,
could be issues around lack at different times in life, and that's definitely something that, it's a cycle that might need to be broken, and a mindset.
you hit it. You
Yeah,
hit it, because feeling okay, like when they said it's okay to be happy, you don't
yeah,
have to feel guilty.
right.
It's okay to be abundant, like when
Yes.
maybe your ancestors were very frugal and
Mhm,
astute, what I'm saying,
mhm,
and now you're living differently, that can feel, or if you're a parent, if you've exceeded, say,
mhm.
a parent in things, it can make you feel like if you have a job but your parent didn't wasn't able to work, like you can
Right.
feel like you have to minimize your professional success
Yes,
because of a family like pattern. So like saying it's okay to not feel guilty about
absolutely.
anything, is it
Mhm.
is that operating in our program is what sabotages our success. Like you said, when we have that lack, like it's we shouldn't be abundant, we should be
Yeah,
servants.
I struggle with that. I was in media for 20 years, more than 20 years.
Right.
I worked in
Speaking of
newspapers and
which,
online. You know,
speaking of which,
I don't know who that is, but wow. Yeah. Well, that's definitely a message for somebody that, they're fantasizing, and you're not the only one, because they've been in that situation before with somebody else, and maybe it's not the best thing for them to do, to be fantasizing, but hopefully they're just keeping it in their head and
and not
not
acting
acting
on
on
it.
it, because they may end up doing something that they've done before and didn't wasn't a good thing. So
Well,
that's
let's get our
it's so
official shot.
crazy how that happens, isn't it?
I know, like,
It still blows my mind when I'm doing readings, and I pull one out and it said, and I'll say something like, "Well, are they going to come forward? Is this going to happen?" And then I pull a card out of this 108 card deck, and it says no. It's like, okay, straight to the point.
oh, these were the two I got. I hope that you're happy for me.
Mm,
Next time I will listen to my intuition. Wow.
yeah.
I like it. I mean, again, when I'm doing shadow work, I'm very intentional, because that means I'm really looking at sitting with what I see And that means I've given myself space and time for that. I'm not going to go deep when I've got 111 3D things that I really need to be present for.
Right.
Because
It's
shadow
a
work
hard act to
is,
swallow. People, some people get really upset, but, we kind of have a disclaimer on there saying these are raw and real messages. They're not going to be to everyone's taste, and be ready for it. You
absolutely.
may not hear what you want to hear, but it might be what you need to hear.
It's always what
And
you
it's
need.
all real. I mean, a lot of these things are things that happen to me, things that were said to me, and they were really painful. And I know that they're going to help other people. And there's a card in this deck that says, let's see if I can find it here. Thank you for leaving me. And, that can be a good thing. If somebody left you, it may have really hurt like heck at the time, but now your life is completely different. You wouldn't be where you are now. Maybe you wouldn't have children. Maybe you wouldn't have found the right person for you if that person hadn't left. So that's hard to hear sometimes, but that's one of those messages that people are like, I don't know if I get that.
Well, yeah. And then what's the other one?
And it's something too with age. I think people might understand that more as they grow older and experience life. That might make more sense after a separation breakup.
Well, the pain part, after you kind of come out of the initial, because even anybody who's had a parent that, or a loved one with a long-term illness.
Mm-hmm. And I have. My mom was sick for 14 years with, kidney failure.
Yeah. So the whole process then of grief, a long grieving process, or sudden depart, there's lots of things, a sudden breakup versus a long coming breakup that you saw, once you get past the reaction place, hindsight, the further it gets in the mirror. And the more conversations you have with spirit trying to affirm for you, it's okay. This was really for the best. Just trust us. You'll see. Then I think in time we can receive that a little better.
Yeah, and there's a card in my first deck that, this rejection is for you. Yeah, it's for your protection. You don't know what's being said on the other side, I don't mean the other side being people on the other side, but you don't always know what's being said in the rooms you're not in. And there are reasons that things don't work out with people. It's because they're not supposed to, and it wouldn't be good for you if it did.
I trust
Stop knocking on that door and move along.
I trust that with everything I do. Like, it takes a reminder, but it's like once you shake it off, it's like rejection is your protection. Like, so I think I'm gonna hop on tomorrow. There is this whole TikTok story about who TF did I marry? And it's this engaging, but personal drama of a couple who met and the unfolding catastrophe that was their marriage. And it's garnering millions of views on social media, and news articles are talking about this particular little viral phenomenon. But at the heart of their conversation and what the lady's sharing is broken relationship. It was all about love, self-love, lack of self-love, and the energies that kind of create these dramatic explosions of painful experiences for people. So I think I'm gonna pull some decks together and see what is the spiritual overview and lesson that we can learn, aside from the eating popcorn, kind of entertainment experience of it, what spirit has to say. And so I know that I will have some of your oracle cards out here within the shadows.
That'll be interesting. I look forward
I've got a couple other relationship decks. So
excellent.
Well, I am so excited to see. Are we looking at any new decks? Or are you just so busy with Amazon and
Not
your
yet. Not yet. I
okay?
mean, I put this deck out. This Between the Lines
That's
came out last June. That came out
okay.
in June, and that's the latest one. And I really have to feel it. I have to have an idea for it. I have to be in the right headspace to write one and just feel like, I'm ready, because I'm
Mhm.
not always ready to write a deck, because once you decide what you're going to do and you figure out what the messages are going to be and the design, and part of it too, you've got to think about, who is this going to appeal to? Is it going to appeal to people? Is this something that, I should do? And not every deck. I've created decks that I just threw away. I mean, I didn't put them out anywhere, but they just didn't work. It
Mhm.
didn't work, and I just tossed the idea. So, I really I'll create another one when I feel that it's time.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that it is beautiful what you've done, and to be able
Thank
to
you.
observe it and then be a receiver of the creations that you've made, because these are like your little love children. Honestly, they're birth of your creative efforts and your connection with your guidance, and
Mhm.
they benefit people in having higher vibrational conversations. So
Thank you.
thank you and kudos from 0 to 7. And the fact that your
I
whole
think it's actually 8. I
eight,
have to
okay.
think about, because,
Oh, because I
being
don't
an
have
achiever,
the, yeah, believe in it. Yeah.
I'll have to do a batch. But the decks are also on Deckable. So
Oh,
if any
yes.
of these are out of stock, people can get them for half price on Deckable. And if you don't know about Deckable, they have so many card decks. They have card decks for Oracle, all kinds of things. I mean, you name it. There's, things that relate to yoga. It's not all Oracle cards. They're business tips, hundreds and hundreds of decks, and all of our decks are on there. And
I am
except
showing.
Believe and Achieve, I need to get that one on there. But
I've
that's
got,
it's a good way. You just put it on your phone, and if you need a quick message, you can just go to your phone and get it. You buy it once, and that's it. And it's
I've
there.
got the website up for it,
Yeah,
but you
it's
could,
great, and I went a little slow with this, but I've been very impressed with the founder, Nick, and it's a great site, and it's the UI, the user interface is always changing, always being updated, and you can meditate on the cards, all kinds of things. It's just great. You can make notes and go back and see, what you said way
I
back.
looked at it yesterday and downloaded it into
Good.
my app. So after we mentioned it, and that's DECKIBLE, I was just showing that on the
Yes.
screen.
You'll
And
be
also,
seeing a lot more of them. They have Colette Baron Reed has a deck on
I
there,
saw
and
that when I
yeah,
was
yeah.
perusing. I said,
There's,
okay, everybody.
they're they're growing a lot, and they're definitely doing it the right way.
Well,
So
people who want to follow you can check you out on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and you do readings, you do Reiki on your YouTube. There's so many beautiful things that you're
thank you.
sharing out into the world. So I think that it is no wonder that you would not have time to knock out like a deck every a year, at this point. So um I
Yeah, and
am
I'm kind
just
of a control freak too, so that doesn't help.
it
And
makes a difference
I've got
though.
to work on delegating a little bit more, because
But
there
your
would be
your
probably be more time.
but your quality control, like, it pays off,
Thank you.
because you are actually putting thought and time, and as a consumer of the product, that matters, and it shows. So thank you
Thank
on
you.
behalf of the
And
card
I'm glad I
collective.
got to try out my first deck. on you.
I know. It was great. I love
Does
it.
this work?
The first card that came out was Twin Flame. And I was
It's like,
like,
is this working?
there's this thing on, and it was on every card. I was like, whoa, yeah. So, and again, this evening, as people got to see that, it was beautiful messages. So, thank you for joining me this evening.
And thanks for everybody who asked for readings, and I hope that the messages resonate. And check us out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, all of you, I will be back next week for another episode of In the Cards. And my guest next week is actually going to be talking about a type of divination that originates in China, purple dragon I Ching or something. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it, but we'll learn more about it next week on the show. Excellent. So we have a gentleman named Wang who's going to be on my show on Tuesday and then sharing about this ancient practice on my show. So I'm super excited. Stacy says it was wonderful. She needs some spray too. Yes.
All right.
She's our hairstylist and salon.
I knew she's a hairstylist, and that's what I was thinking. Is dad is really proud of that.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. All right. Well, thank you, Chris. And everyone have a wonderful, beautiful week. And we will see you next time on In the Cards.
You have a great night. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.